What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, a mugshot can tell you a lot about somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you somebody up here. Look at this dude. I told you, when a lot of times you see people do some of the most heinous crimes, they got the most craziest looks on their face, or it just shows a reflection of how they live their life. The man you see up here is from New Hanover County, North Carolina. Shout out, New Hanover County. This is 63-year-old Marshall Todd Anderson. And this guy has just been sentenced recently to 18 to 22 years in prison for performing patricide, which is basically when a child kills a parent. And this guy right here killed his father last year in February. This guy recently made news now because he's just been sentenced to 18 to 22 years in prison, like I said. Now this guy supposedly has a long history of drug abuse and altercations with his father before he killed him and put him in the back of the house and discarded him and labeled him as trash and put him under a blue tarp, which his son, this guy right here's son, found after a lengthy search. Why don't you take a look at this story? We're going to come back and talk about it.
A man sits in jail tonight accused of killing his own father. Police arrested Marshall Anderson Thursday night after finding his father, William Anderson, dead in the family's yard. WCT's Zach Solon has been looking into the case and shares what he learned from neighbors and prosecutors.
The New Hanover County Sheriff's Office says deputies got a call around 8 o'clock Thursday night asking them to make a welfare check at a home on Marlowe Drive in the Kings Grant area. That's when they found 89-year-old William Anderson dead in the yard due to blunt force trauma. Investigators found Anderson's son, Marshall, less than 3 miles away near the Best Buy on South College Road. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Neighbors tell me they never expected something like this to happen to this family. Marshall Anderson appeared in court Friday morning and will remain in jail without bond. District Attorney Ben David says his office is working to address this and other cases of domestic violence.
What we are trying to do, adopting this police prosecutor approach, is to have not only physical evidence collection and the testimony of witnesses all in one place, but also wraparound services for the long-term healing that takes place, particularly when there needs to be reconciliation between families and even whole neighborhoods that are around this violence.
Court records show that Marshall had been arrested recently for allegedly breaking into his neighbor's car and stealing from them. He was out on bond on those charges when he was arrested Thursday night. Zach Solon, WECT News.
That story, this piece of shit. Marshall Todd Anderson, at age 63, this loser decides to kill his 83-year-old father, whose name was William Anderson. Now, I'm going to read something to you real fast. All right, check this out. We'll go real quick with this. It's a short article. It says, Marshall Todd Anderson was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in February 2023. Well, yeah, 2023, after his son asked law enforcement for help finding his grandfather, William Thomas Anderson. The grandson reported William Anderson reported missing in early evening of Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. He reported going to Williams Anderson's residence at 905 Marlowe Street to check on his grandfather, who had begun to display signs of dementia. So the dad was starting to lose his mind. The grandson found his father, the defendant, at the residence, who told him he had seen William Anderson only a minute before. The grandson also reported his father had a history of drug abuse and altercations with the deceased. When the grandson began to search the house and then the yard for his grandfather, Marshall Anderson, pictured here, told him, do not disturb a blue tarp in the backyard, under which he claimed there was trash. Search everywhere but there. The grandson began to search the surrounding neighborhood and called 911. When deputies with the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office met with the grandson at that residence, they found that Marshall Anderson had left the scene. Of course. They thought that the defendant may have been looking for the grandfather. However, it was later determined that the defendant had asked a neighbor to drive him to Walmart as patrol vehicles approached the residence. Deputies then located William Anderson's body under the tarp in the backyard. The medical examiner determined he had been dead for at least half a day, and a pathologist determined the cause of death was multiple blunt force injuries. According to a press release from the DA's office, the grandson spoke at Monday's sentencing and spoke about the harm inflicted on his family and loved ones, including the heartbreak when someone chooses drugs over their own family. Son said that at his dad's sentencing. Disgraceful. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I want you to look. Now you see this guy, right? This is how the house looked before when the granddad was alive. That's how it looked after he was dead and he could no longer take care of the place. You know what I'm saying? Before he died, and Mr. Anderson was living in it. What you think? It went from that to that. There are people out here that are children that pick their own ways as they become adults. And they choose the path, whether it's a destructive path or not. And as adults, they want to be respected as adults, don't want nobody to tell them nothing, so on and so forth. And they run this cycle of craziness and chaos in their life to where when they're old, that's all they know. This man is 63 years old. 63 years old, still messing with drugs, still doing dumb shit. Now, he's locked up. Just look at the way the crime was. Saw the cops coming, killed the man, threw his body in the backyard of his own damn house. You know what I'm saying? Threw him out there, covered him up like trash, said he was trash. Then when the cops came, ran off, dropped me off at Walmart. As if something happened, he could say, oh, I was at Walmart. You know, I wasn't even here. Oh, we're looking for him. You know what I'm saying? I just saw him an hour ago, but he was killed the day before. He's so smart, he's stupid. And he's where he's at for a reason. People like this are shit. And there are a lot of children out here that live in the shadow of their parents, just waiting for an opportunity to strike and take from others when they didn't do anything to accumulate stuff for themselves in life. That man had a nice house. Now it looked like shit. Bunch of junk out front. Cars with the hood up. So on and so forth. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people out here are just certified fuck-ups. No matter what you do for them or give to them, they will destroy it. And this is why a lot of people don't have shit. That's why you can't help everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not just in this case. It's everywhere. There are people we know that are dimwits. And no matter what you do, how much money you spend, what situation you put them in, the mindset they have will turn it all to shit. Why? Because they're shit. Here's your proof. Yeah, your father had dementia. And why are you going to beat somebody up? You beat your father to death. So every time you swung and hit him and drew blood or whatever, caused all kind of like serious damage to his body, as he probably begged for his life, you never thought back of good times or anything like that, to where this guy helped you get to adulthood, let you be in his house, helped you out multiple times, probably got your stupid ass out of jail and told you about your life, and you didn't want to hear it. All you wanted was things. I told you before, there are a lot of people out here, and it's an increasing thing you're starting to see. A lot of people that don't contribute shit, but want everything. There are a lot of people that consume but don't produce nothing, whether it's something good, monetary or not. This is what's out here. And then they go and lock him up. This man will be locked up till he's 18 to 22 years old. 18 to 22 years in prison. Say he gets 18 years. He'll be what? 81 when he gets out? His father was 83. How is that justice? You'll still get out and be younger than your father that you killed after killing a man that should still be here. It's something to think about. Justice system's trash. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I like how the son said that at his sentencing. It's a damn shame when you pick drugs over your family. You know what I'm saying? That father that you killed, he was not only your father, but he was the grandfather of your son. You didn't think nothing about that other people loved him because you had hate in your heart at the present moment to take his life and rob others that cared about him the enjoyment of him naturally passing in his last days. That's why people like this, I would end them immediately once it's found out they're the one that did the shit. See you in the next video. Take care.